All right, good evening. Come in, 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 come in. All right, let's give it a second. Let's let everyone get in the room. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Love it. Such a showing. It really is quite flattering. But we all are doing something quite important together, and a little something called, I don't know, changing the world. No big deal, right? So get in, get in, get in. Totally cool. Welcome, everyone. I see all of my favorites as I scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. I see only more of my favorites, which is really cool. Excuse me. As I had a moment, I finally ate something, and it's like this big bag of like trail mix, like mixed nuts. And it was $7.59, and I ate the last bit, and I'm trying to chew it so that I could get on the live. And if you notice, I was like 7 seconds late because I was choking on pumpkin seeds. I think I'm back though. Yeah, no, totally cool. All right, we got, what an audience. Seriously, what an audience. On a Thursday evening, right? Like, who else is able to do, yeah, I know, drink some water. Who else is doing things like we are? And that's cool. I know. So I sent out an email earlier today describing today as being part 2. Now, we were able to walk everyone through yesterday exactly how the coin is actually, hey, Ring, how the coin is actually going to be managed, right? How the transparency alone will allow those that are in it to go ahead and continue to have confidence in it. In any type of investment or anything that you purchase, when you have the option, when you have the optionality at any given point to recall your money, to redeem your money, or to leave your money, it means every second you're constantly making that decision. In making that decision every second, whether you realize it or not, you do require a consistent level of confidence, right? Like your son goes to school. The school is good. You don't need to pay attention every day. Maybe once every quarter, you'd like to go visit his teachers, hear what's going on. If your son comes home and starts speaking gibberish, you're then like, what are they doing at that school? Conversely, when your son comes home and he's really intelligent and he's teaching you things about Mars that you did not even know existed, that is your added level of confidence that the school that you are investing in, right, that you're giving money to for him to go to is good. Which means in any type of a situation where you're taking your money and you're putting it out there and you have the optionality to take it back, right? Like you send your son to private school, that school is not good, you take your money back and you send them to another school. Same thing with investments. If it's not yielding you results or allowing you a level of confidence, then therefore you should not be in it. So how do we go ahead and take that information that's so, hey, Deborah, take that information that's so innate, so molecular in investment and in humans altogether and build on that, right? So in the stock market, you have companies, you buy their stock, they go ahead and report quarterly earnings. They tell you every single quarter how they're doing, which means you're left for 3 months at a time that any fluctuation in the stock, oh, okay, it's going up because some people are buying it. Oh, it's going down because some people are selling it, which is okay if it stays in between this area. When it goes up a whole lot, you're really happy, but you have no clue why it's going up that high. You don't know if it's speculation, if they bought something out, if they just discovered a new oil reserve. You have no clue, but you accept it because it's going up. Conversely, when that stock is tanking, you have no clue. You get that quarterly report every quarter, every 3 months. Therefore, you're left going to the TV. What is CNBC saying? What is your friend saying? What is the universe saying? And of course, the universe has no clue why it's happening either. Therefore, they tell you a narrative that's conducive to the events. That's how history works, right? I never actually quite believed in history, and that might sound crazy, but any retelling or any recollection of events is always going to be in the bias of the person telling it. Therefore, if I'm on TV and a stock's going down, I'm going to naturally look at events or news that might be negative. Oh, well, they just found out the CEO's daughters are drunk and she might got into an accident and therefore the CEO's time has to be spent with her. Oh, wow, the stock's down. It's the CEO's fault. It's his daughter. You can add those together and at least allow yourself a narrative that makes sense. If the stock's going up, well, the CEO's daughter's a drunk and she got into an accident. People are like, who cares? She's not the CEO. The point is that set of facts, I told two different people the same exact set of facts and they acted completely oppositely. And the number one variable of why they acted oppositely was the effect, was the event. Therefore, the event dictates what narrative you believe, and that's what you call history. The point of this mumbo jumbo is the fact that nobody gets into any investment with any level of confidence unless it's their own investment, unless it's their own company, because when it's your company, you know every single thing that happens every single second, which means your investment will always be the investment in yourself. A lot of people call their company their family, right? When your daughter or when your son is going to Harvard on a full scholarship, well, the investment you put into them, teaching them right from wrong, making sure that they don't smoke pot, making sure that your daughter's not a stripper, or that your son didn't go ahead and do drugs somewhere, all led to them getting into this really great school, complete scholarship, which means you saved what, $200,000-$300,000. How much did you save on any problems that they would have had if they got into trouble, like bail out of jail, rehab, et cetera, et cetera? So the $200,000 plus the money that you would have spent, plus how much money are they going to make then there in their lives, which they then can contribute back to you later in life. Oh, hey, Pops, I bought you your first house, right? Your best investment could be your family. Your best investment could be your business. Your best investment is always in yourself. Okay, so how do you invest in yourself for that to actually make sense? Because you know what? If you invest in yourself and you could do yoga and you could do backwards dog while eating grapes by putting them in your toes and bringing them to your face, that's all great. You're so healthy, but you're homeless because you have no money. So how do you go ahead and invest in yourself while allowing that to also earn you an income? Are you going to be a circus act? Oh, look at the incredible yoga person that could feed themselves grapes. I don't think so, right? Like maybe you could, right? Do. That's not me, and I'm not really telling you to do that. So that's the foundation of what Rhin0c0in is, because it's completely built with all of us in mind. But more so than that, I've built it so that all of us are sharing it as our own company. How do I do that? Well, first, the business plan. I'm sharing it with you. You are not going to get into Rhin0c0in unless you agree with what we're doing. And that's not because I'm going to tell you, no, you're not allowed, but because I'm so transparent, I'm so educating you on exactly what we're doing that for you to get involved with it and then act surprised is a complete, like you're certifiably insane, like you have dementia or you have Alzheimer's, because I'm telling you everything that we're going to do, at least the goal and the mission statement of it. But that doesn't actually affect the day-to-day, because I could say to you, I'm going to grow wings tomorrow and fly. But if I'm not flying tomorrow, what did I really do? Yeah, he said he was. I really believed he was, but he didn't. The only way I could prove to you that I'm going to fly tomorrow is by like coming to your house and like picking you up and saying, let's go fly to the circus together where we can go see the crazy yoga person that puts grapes in their mouth. How do we do that in a company though? So I'm going to share the screen for those that weren't with us yesterday and those that were with us. You did see this. I'm going to go over it quite briefly so that, you know, I could get to the part 2 of this whole presentation. And by presentation, I seriously just mean like what I'm talking to you about today, right? So we went through what the white papers looks like. I still need to edit and update it because I do need to go ahead. Well, there's things I need to do, right? So we all know what the math looks like. So for those that were not with us yesterday, because we did invite new people to join today, and we do have a higher membership today or attendee list. So let's go through it, right? What is the value of a coin? What is the value of a currency? How do you determine the value of said coin or said currency? Well, how many people use it? How much transactions are doing? How much business is it doing? What's the volume of that? What's the adoption of it? Who's investing it in? Who's it holding it? And what's the projection of it going forward? If you know all that stuff, then you can invest in it. You can make an investable thesis. Hey, this coin is worth this today. This coin's going to be worth that today or tomorrow. Therefore, what's going to change between now and then that's going to allow me to have confidence that that's going to go up in value? Well, what's the event? Well, in January 2023, the Rhin0 platform goes exclusively to Rhin0c0in. Okay, that's great. Well, the only way that can have value is if there's actually people on the Rhin0 platform, if there's actually businesses on the platform, if there's actually people transacting on the platform, if the volume is increasing, if people are investing in it, if the adoption's high. That's the only way that this can be worth anything. Otherwise, the platform, who cares? Yeah, there's a Rhin0c0in on the ABC platform, but no one's on the ABC platform, so who really cares? So the only way you can know those numbers is to see them growing along the way. The reason why we're being so transparent is because we've built this so that we all share this company together. And the reason why we're going to share it all together is because so often in life, everyone thinks that they're smarter than everyone, and that innately in being smarter than others, this is what the thought process is. I'm smart enough to own a business. My business is providing this service. This service I could provide for X amount of dollars. That's what this service costs me. Because I'm smarter than my customers, they cannot do this service for themselves for X amount of dollars. Therefore, I'm going to charge them X amount of dollars plus 10%. Therefore, I can make 10% on every one of my customers. A, because I need to make a profit to be a profitable business, but B, because innately, I think my customers are dumber than I. And that doesn't mean that they're dumber in like elastics. They just don't have the time to spend doing the thing that you're doing. If your expertise is in one particular thing and you spend 100% of your time doing it, you're much more qualified to do that than anyone walking off the street. Therefore, you innately might be saying that person's dumber than you, because some of us have customers that are just not very smart. And that's not to be that they're bad customers. It just means that we're always going to have them as a customer because we can always provide a better service than they could ever provide for themselves. But there's also those other people that just simply don't have the time. Meaning, as a business owner, you innately always believe that your customers need you. That's why they're paying you, which is why you could create a profit from that, because your wholesale is less than what they're paying you. Therefore, your customers need you. Okay, that's fine, but that's the mind of every business owner. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with business owners, but I'm saying we can be better. Like, why not think outside the box? Why not think bigger? Why not think better? What if we could simply just say, you know what, let's just create a company that everyone owns together? Because if we can do that, and we can make it such an experience, such a value proposition for everyone, then the sheer volume of people that are a part of it can increase the value of it to such an extent that I would rather 1% of a really, really super duper 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 big pie than 100% of an itty bitty little pie, right? So how do we create that super duper 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 big pie? So these are the numbers that one would need to know to go ahead and value any coin. These line items are the weeks that we're going to produce those numbers, so that at any point, everyone could always see the numbers, of what we're doing. Because the numbers are calculated to go ahead and create projections of what the coin would be worth, see, projections, these numbers will always change dependent on the new data that's put in. Because the data that's put in is always real-time information, then the projections are always constantly updated, given the most up-to-date information. Because we're going to go ahead and create this as a shareable doc, not editable, editable, because that would be crazy, because we can't just allow anyone to edit it that doesn't have the information. Only the people that have the information, like Rhin0, can go ahead and say, well, we have new Rhin0 members, because only Rhin0 would know that, right? Like, that makes sense. In allowing us to go ahead and update it every second, but allowing it to kind of be like blockchain, we're making a ledger of our company, not just of the coin, but of the entire company, to allow everyone to see every transaction that happens. What will then happen is a market will be created. Now, a market is a buyer and a seller, right? They come together and then they agree on a price. For instance, my fiance and I today brought our son to the doctor. On the way there, we were taking bets how much our son weighed. I said over 13 pounds. She thought like under 13 pounds. But she didn't exactly know the number and I didn't know the number. So I said to her, do you think he's over or under 12 and a half pounds? She goes, over. I go, so do I. Okay. Do you think he's over or under 12 and 3/4 pounds? She goes, under. I said, over. And I said, okay, that's a market. 12 and 3/4 pounds is the line because we have an equal amount of people saying under and an equal amount of people saying over. That does not mean 12 and 3/4 is going to be the exact number, but it means according to the side, according to all market participants, that number is the most credible number of shared expectations. What would happen if our market was larger than my fiance and I? What if that market was all of our family? Well, then that number might be 12 pounds and 5/8 of a pound, right? It would be much more granular because more people would have an opinion. Converse or producing a much more accurate number. What I'm getting at is when this sheet is released to the entire globe to view, then we're going to get a lot of scrutiny. A lot of people are going to say, I see what you're doing, but your projections are off. Did you think about this? Did you think about that? You're valuing this a little bit more than you should. Oh, you're undervaluing this. What about this metric you didn't even think of? You know what we're going to do? We're going to look at that as like the golden pot, the fountain of youth. We're Ponce de Leon in that moment because we're going to take everyone's advice and bring it in. What happens when you take everyone's advice and bring it in? You create accomplices. For instance, if I say to you, hey, Mr. Jones, wait, I have a chat. Hold on. Who's talking to me? Oh, cool. I will be happy to edit the white paper. Well, Deborah, you're not going to edit the white paper. You're going to see it and you're going to offer me advice and then we'll edit it. Which is me just being funny, right? Okay, anyway. What happens when you accept someone's advice is they become an accomplice. For instance, if I say to Deborah, using her as an example, hey, Deborah, I'm creating this company. I think the website should be, no, I know. I like the website to be red, green, or blue. What do you think? What's your advice? Deborah says, I like green. Now I go ahead and make my website green. What is Deborah now innately, what does she feel obligated to do to my business? She feels obligated to at least patronize it, to at least seriously consider purchasing a product, to at least go ahead and offer it to a friend, to at least feel somewhat responsible for whether the company does good or bad, because her advice is now part of it, and her pride, her ego, her own piece of her is in it. Therefore, she's now an accomplice to the success of it, which is why it's always better to ask someone for advice than ask their opinion. When you ask someone for their feedback, you're putting you guys at conflict. Hey, what's your feedback? Oh, well, you think this, I think that. You're opposing forces. Hey, what's your advice? Oh, I see you did that, but I think you should do this too. Great. Now you're on the same side of the fence. This is just behavioral science, right? So in accepting everyone's advice, we're now going to create a metric sheet that's not only super duper duper accurate and exactly as close as the projections could be, but we're creating a globe that now feels indebted, not indebted, but obligated, that actually feels quite partial to the platform. Now, here's the beauty of that. These numbers, we're not only going to update by the week, I'm actually going to update them daily, minute by minute, which means if we go ahead and grow the platform out audience-wise and invite the entire globe to participate, and the entire globe puts their input in offering advice on what metrics are sound, what they should be, why some numbers are good, why some numbers are bad. And we find that equilibrium point that everyone, or at least the highest majority, can agree on. What effectively did we do? We effectively turned our audience into our fuel. Because when the audience then understands that the numbers on the sheet are completely accurate and the best predictor of the projected number, and they all feel indebted to it, partial to it, obligated to its success, to be a part of the success, then how can they go ahead and make it successful? Well, they could go ahead and be part of the numbers. They could be a part of buying the coin. They could be a part of referring the coin. They could be a part of receiving the coin. They are already part of the platform because they're already part of the platform as being a Rhino member. Because to even offer me your advice, you have to be on the webinar. You have to be on the email. You don't exactly have my phone number, which means you're on our contact list, which means you're part of Rhino, which means everyone part of Rhino has the opportunity to offer such advice. In offering such advice, that ecosystem grows and grows and grows, but more importantly, allows the projections to be very trusted. Now, if the projections are very trusted and the entire ecosystem not only agrees on the projections, not only agrees on how they're calculated, but more importantly is educated on how they're produced, then the light bulb moment goes off. Those that are producing it are the same ones that are calculating the projections of it. Therefore, the ecosystem becomes its own self-fulfilling prophecy. What we always said from day one is the thing that the 1% does not understand is that the 99% might only share 1% of the wealth, but have 99% of the population. If we're able, and I'm not saying we're getting 99% of the population, right? But if our message resonates with 99%, that 99% that disgruntled from the 1% that has all the wealth, and they go ahead and realize and are educated in the moment that we're able to go ahead and share the message and have that light bulb moment where they realize, oh my God, my participation alone is what goes ahead and produces the higher number. Therefore, if I purchase today, I can actually guarantee myself that higher number. And I can feel confident that that's going to happen because not only do I agree how the number is being calculated, but I could see it in real time every second. Effectively, what would we have done at that moment? Effectively, what we would have done is we would have cracked the code. We would have found the way to actually bring 99% of the population together and to go ahead and capture the value, the strength of 99% of a population in an investable asset. Because remember last year when GameStop was flying and AMC was flying and nobody knew why these stocks were going up? Because the stock, we could all agree, GameStop being a physical brick and mortar retailer that sells video games in the middle of a pandemic probably isn't a good investment. Because A, video games you could download online. B, the store was closed because you couldn't go to it because it was a pandemic. And C, the stock went from $2 to $500. So how do those three things line up? Well, price is supply and demand. If there's more demand than supply, the price goes up. What was the supply of the stock? Very limited, because all the big hedge funds and institutional money managers said, this is a really bad company. Therefore, let's short the stock. Not to get too wonky, but when you short a stock, effectively, you're borrowing it from someone and immediately selling it with the belief that it's going to go down in price so you could buy it back at a lower price than where you sold it, return the stock to the person you borrowed it from. And if you sold it at 10 and bought it back at 5, that extra $5 you keep in your pocket. Meaning if you short a stock, you're betting on it to go lower for your own profit. Therefore, if the entire community is shorting a stock, there's no supply out there to buy it because it's all being shorted. But here's the problem. When you're shorting a stock, your downside risk is infinite because a stock could go up to an infinite number. Numbers go infinitely high, right? You don't know how high they could go. Therefore, when the stock goes up, you still have to buy that stock back as a short. Therefore, if you sold it at 10, believing it's going to go to 5, and it's really at 11 or 12 or 13, yeah, if it went down to 5, you made 5 points. But if it goes up to 15, you lost 5 points, which means every point that stock goes higher, you're actually losing money. Therefore, you're feeling pain. You're feeling a churn in your stomach, which means you have to buy that stock back to stop losing money. You know what happens when you then buy that stock back? You now make it go higher for the next person who's also shorting it because you're putting more buying pressure into it. That's called a short squeeze, which is why you saw GameStop go from this to this, because everyone pushed their chips in. Everyone smelled blood. It was the first time that the 99% got together and said, we're finally getting some success. We're able to actually create our own wealth, and we could take it from those dirtbags. Well, what happened? Wall Street came out, they went ahead and what's the word? They disabled you buying the stock. Oh, we can't sell you the stock anymore. The only thing you can do is sell the stock. They completely manipulated the system and took advantage of all the 99%, because 99% is never supposed to be the 1%. Who are you? You're like a janitor. You're like a worker. You're not as smart as that investment banker that went to Harvard. Like who the are you to think you could put him out of his job? So in fact, we're just going to go ahead and ban you. You're not allowed to buy it anymore until it goes down. And then guess what happens? The stock came down, and all the stock that you owned, you lost money on. Oh, you want to sue them? Good luck. You'll never beat them, because not a single banker even went to jail for 2008 financial crisis, right? So now take that thought. Now, how were they doing it? They were buying stock in a company, GameStop. Okay, how were they buying stock in this company? They were buying it through, Rhin0c0in and different brokers that have different broker requirements, regulations and stuff. Therefore, as they were buying it, everyone was collectively looking to make the price go higher for the express purpose to go ahead and make the other side lose money. Because everyone knew there was such a high short interest, they knew that if they kept buying it, they were going to force those shorts, that churning in their stomach, to step in and buy the stock to close out their positions. In which case it would guarantee them such a big loss, but it would guarantee the stock would spike much higher. So the authorities came out and said that was colluding. That's illegal in stocks. You can't collude against somebody else. You can't artificially manipulate a stock to go higher. Who are you? You're like you're a school teacher. You're not allowed to do that stuff. Only they are. So eventually that came to a halt. Where's the fervor in Bitcoin and all of those things today, all the crypto market? It's everyone believing that they're going to reinvent the system, that they're able to stick it to the bankers. That's fine, I agree. But if the 99% is being so divided over which coin they're going to buy, and now they're competing against each other, you know what happens? The 1% is able to sit there and say, ha, look at these idiots. Yeah, I mean, I guess I know what they're doing, but they're not all buying the same thing. They're all competing against each other. Therefore, they cancel each other out. And in fact, we could sit here and then manipulate it from the top end. Okay, cool. My point is we're getting close to people finally realizing it. And like Facebook did to MySpace, Rhino's doing right now to the market. We're able to see what worked and what didn't work. And we're saying to ourselves, how about this? How about if we actually had a real platform and the members on the platform directly supported the valuation of the platform? We guarantee that the coin's going to be the exclusive transaction of the platform. Therefore, the platform's success is directly supportive of the coin value. And let's go ahead and bring everyone into the platform, show everyone that by being in the platform, you're effectively raising the numbers because your numbers do count. Therefore, if you give everyone that level of transparency, you know what they'll do? They'll say, game on. Finally, everyone, here we go. Rhin0c0in, Rhin0c0in, Rhin0c0in. That's what we're going to do. By next year, what you're going to see is that we're going to do things very differently. I'll tell you something right now. This Rhin0c0in, the sole purpose of it is to go ahead and make millionaires of every one of us. That's my only purpose. Now, I own my company. I own Rhin0c0in. We're going to participate and share with everyone, giving people coin. We're allowing people to invest in coin. And that coin's going to be supportive of the platform. But you know what would happen if we create a platform that has so many different high-level offerings, while at the same time open sourcing it through Rhin0c0in and allowing other businesses to come on our platform, while completely creating one coin that has the globe's attention? Do you know what that's called? It's called a global currency. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that that's our express purpose, that we're going to go ahead and create the world's first global currency. But what I can tell you is if we go ahead and we're successful and we bring this price high enough, and the people that are responsible and participating in it are diversified enough across the globe, all with the incentive to go ahead and participate together, while we go ahead and expressly reflect and illustrate all the success that everyone's having together, we then bring the coin on Coinbase and allow everyone on the globe to see it moving up. Do you know what would happen? So I'll tell you what would happen. Let me just break the mystery for you, right? Okay. So you see this value right here? this is the managed market. This is what it's going to be next year. After it gets to January 2023, this will become a free floating market. These numbers, although are supported on absolute perfection of our execution, they still don't go far enough. Because honestly, because we're only doing 1 billion coin, if we go ahead and really go ahead and create a virality that allows people to see that they can actually make money by participating in it and do it immediately, if we could go ahead and bring together the 99% of the world that's disgruntled, think about all the people that are buying coin. They're all buying it for the same reason. Do you think anyone knows that they're ever going to put Shiba coin in Subway? Do you think anyone that buys NKN coin or this stupid coin have any perception or any belief that they're going to use this coin and hand it to their kids? Nobody does. Everyone's buying the coin because they believe that's the one that's going to bring the flood and allow the coin to go from 1 penny to $1,000. What I'm saying to you is the thing that they're all missing is the next step. The next step is what you're looking at right here, because not only are we going to do everything that I'm showing you, but I'm going to be right here every single night educating the entire audience. What coin? Do you have Doji coin coming out here talking every day to everyone? Do you know what's going to happen when these numbers start producing and I have the ammunition to be on this call and say, hey guys, who just made $100,000 today? Oh, we have 1 million people on the call today. This is what's happening. Right now, we're having this call with hundreds. When we start having this call with millions, and you are right in front of someone whose words are going to be heard by millions of people, that's directly going to affect the price of a coin. Do you have any idea what? Okay. It's going to be a big thing. So these numbers are based on perfection. But with that said, I still don't think they're large enough. Let's say by January 2024, each coin is worth $261,000. Let's say it's only worth $100,000. The fact that you're getting in at 2 cents for 100,000 in 48 months, 24 months is 2 years, right? 104 weeks is 2 years. How many times does 2 cents go into 100,000? Well, it goes into $1.50 times. 50 times 100,000 is what? 5 million? How about making 5 million% on your money in 2 years? Would that be okay with you? How about if you went ahead and put $100 in and made 5 million% on that? What's that come out to? $500 million? Now, granted, I can't go ahead and guarantee these numbers, but I could simply tell you that what our express goal is, how we're going to do it, and how, here's the key, that if we are wrong, we're going to know it the second that we're wrong. And you know what the value of knowing you're wrong in the second that you're wrong? Because a lot of people that own companies, they hate customers. Oh my God, these customers, they complain about everything. They email me, they bitch about me. Anyone that's ever worked with me, which is the majority of people on this call, how many have emailed me anything ever and had me say anything other than, thank you so much, I'm on it immediately? And you know why that helps? Why that allows me to get to where I am? Because I already know that everyone that participated in my company is happy, is pleasant, it has a good experience. More so than that, they feel accomplished to it. They feel home. If we go ahead, not if, but when we go ahead and allow everyone that same privilege by sharing a doc that allows everyone to offer their input and their notes, and then we go ahead and actually edit it accordingly. Do you know what happens when you create a financial plan that you report minute by minute that success is based completely on the participants, and the participants absolutely in every second see how they affect the results, and that they know and that they're educated to know that if they go ahead and put themselves in, they could guarantee their own success. Do you know the power you give someone when you say you guarantee your own success right now? You want it? Let's do it. You don't want it? Somebody else will. That's what Rhin0c0in is. So anyone could go buy any coin. I emailed you though. See, Gavin knows that. And that doesn't even count the 50 coins. Yeah, and everyone's getting 50 coins every month anyway. So that's that. I hope everyone had fun. I want to go ahead and give everyone the part 2 version of this. This is awesome, right, Deborah? Yeah, I know. I want to give everyone the part 2 version of this. Again, these are love all. Yeah, no, seriously. And Gavin, you're amazing. I want to make sure, because this will be updated on the YouTube, because people actually do view this all on their own time, the replays. Tomorrow will be on at 2 p.m. A lot of our New Zealand and Australia audience is there. So not that you could hear their accents through their words, but when you see some people type, "Hey, mate," just say it in your head. "Hi, mate." That's how they're saying it. And I'm not sure Leon would appreciate that. And anyone that's on tomorrow will meet Leon and Claire and all the others from that side of the world. And then Saturday, we do 12 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'm finishing up with my team, everything that I'm hopeful for that we can do this soft launch Monday. I don't know if we'll be able to. Is anybody from the UK? Rain, you're from the UK. And actually, let's see. What's his name? Well, I don't want to share everyone's name, but actually 10 of the 60 investors in Rhino are from the UK, and they're usually on. Let me see right now. Oh, you can see my screen, so I'm not going to go through the participants. But that being said, yeah, a lot of them are from the UK. Okay, anyway, so rather than me blah, 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 I like keeping it a half hour. I'm really sorry that I went over 6 minutes, but I do give it to that hour so that everyone knows no matter what, if you give me from 8 to 9, I'll make sure that I give you tomorrow. Sounds like a cool little slogan. You give me 8 to 9, I'll give you the rest of time. I don't know. I'll come up with something. But guys, sincerely love you. Thank you for taking the time with me. We are going to change the world together. And tomorrow, I'll see you again. And it really will be my pleasure. Love you. Bye.